do you want me to say to you the truth about your questions, or do you want me to lie? It's a public question.
The truth.
The truth, okay. Let's start with the truth. You mentioned knowledge. Do you know why Albanian people do not have enough knowledge? Because democracy means how much costs a book, how much I have to work to buy a book. My mother is she works here. She has a very common job, and my mother have to work 2.5 days to buy me a good book. 2.5 days. And when I was a student in Germany, I had to work 1 hour at the library of my university with a half payment that a normal person would take. So it starts from here. We don't have books. The price of our books, it's more than what we work today to get. Because we don't have right publishing houses, because they just you have to give them the money so they can make a book as you want the book. Because professors in Albania sell their own books in universities, and they are not allowed to not take the book because they will lose their university. Do you know why we're not knowledge enough? Because our children, since they are youth, since they are in the 1st grade, their bag is 10 kilograms, you know?
I know.
Yeah. They learn more and more every day, but they still do not have enough knowledge, because in our schools, we are tested by our memory, what we remember from the book, not what we have actually learned from it. We finish the problem of knowledge. Let's start with the second problem, why we don't have a reform in justice. I'm speaking here the truth. That's why I asked you, do you want me to speak the truth? In 10 minutes, my father, which is a police officer in Albania, will get a phone call and said, you are fired. You know why? Because people like me, and not people like most of them here, they speak the truth. To speak the truth in my country means to get your parents fired from your work, to not get nothing, to not be a good citizen. If you cry for your own country, it means you not speak the truth. Later, you'll be called a thief. You'll put into jail for the real commands to be over here. Do you know why the reform is not working? Because they don't want. It's so easy and clear enough. They don't want. Because there, every day we play a theater, you know? They go over there, they speak very good words, they say bad things about each other, but they never speak about the country. I never heard a single politician to speak the truth about my country. I never heard a politician in 25 years to speak something good about my people. My people. Because in 25 years, the politicians of Albania have been complaining about 45 years of communism. Who the hell needs that? We are like in a disease, you know? We still have not accepted, we are sick. That's what happens. That's why the justice does not work over here. Because in places like this, in places like in Parliament, in places like everywhere, we are not allowed to speak the truth. And even the public society that we have, do you know how they work? They run after parties. They go over there, they do their big votings, and after the voting will finish, they will get their money, and they will be paid to applause here and in every other country. And later come the ambassadors, you know, your excellencies. You have come here to do your job, and you do it very well, but no one's gonna hear you. Because my country does not have a conscience. My people over here do not have a conscience. They wake up every day with only one thought in their mind. Okay, how I'm gonna do it to enter in one party, to show myself how much pretty I am, how much smart I am, to be used, and later to finish this thought in the evening, starting in the morning with the same one. Because no one wants to change something over here. Because they believe in what they want to believe. And the last question, to give the other people some voice. They always had actually their voice, but they never use it for something good in their life. Yes, and the last one, because here we are freedom, you know, we have independence. They let you to speak the truth. The last question, what you have how can you help us? Well, I don't know. Take some good politician from outside, make them a passport of Albania, learn their Albanian language, and use these people, how can they live? Or one day, this country will be left without no persons because everyone is running away. And no one will come back. Ask them, do they want to stay in Albania? Ask each of them. Do they want to stay here? Later they will speak the truth.
Okay, Gerta, faleminderit.
Later they will change.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay. Kemi nevojë edhe për aktivizëm, sa herë këtë gjatë.
Yeah?
Jam pyetje, janë dhe përgjigje, kështu që më ka besoj diçka për të thënë.
No, thank you very much for being open. I think that only by telling the truth, you can heal things and you can change things. And also only by being courageous, you can change things otherwise. And I was listening to you and you were using a number of arguments that I have heard before, but in some other language. There were many countries where very deep change was needed. And in that sense, Albania is not unique. Maybe the way the country has been abused by regimes was tougher. But not even that. I mean, there were countries in Europe that have suffered equal problems. And somehow they picked up, they fought through, they made it. I remember fight against corruption in my country. And at one point, we all thought it will never change. There's somewhere there. It changed within 24 hours. One day, something happened. Some people were brought to justice, and things changed. It takes time. And this is why, for your generation, you are in a much better position than my generation or previous generations of Albanians. Because better time is in front of you. You have generations that have sacrificed basically all their life to dysfunctional systems and societies. But what is of pivotal importance is that you speak, and that you demand, and that you never give up, because this is your country. We are here to try to help you get the strength as citizens to have a very open discussion among different groups in the society and demand change. I have heard once, and I don't know who is the author, that you change political system in 6 months. You change economic system in 6 years, but it takes 60 to change a society. You really need to work from within, to have a lot of introspection so that you can change things. It's not easy. And a lot of people will have to, you also sometimes have to pay for that. What was for me very strange when I came to Albania is how people were running across the highway. And I thought, this is not a good sign. They're not afraid for their life. I would never run across the highway. And my child would never even imagine, a possibility to run across the highway. So this is why I asked the question, how are we communicating? Because the essence of what we are trying to do is to help from both sides, to insist that system changes, but also to empower people to demand a change. I toured the country before the local elections and had a lot of meetings with young people, trying to tell them, your vote is much more valuable than anything anybody can offer for that. Another thing also, which we have to be fair, when Albania came out from the dictatorship, it was the third poorest country in the world. So the growth had to be huge to come to the same playing field as other countries in transition. And it took also victims along the way. And this is something that I always try to remind myself. We have to put things into context as well. But it really depends on you. We had many, many discussions about justice reform. I very rarely heard civil society speaking. We make sure that there is every freedom to speak, but very rarely people have courage to speak. So this is also something that needs to change, because this is the only way to have real change. And I think you are absolutely right there, in a sense that unless you demand, unless you participate, unless you say what you think clear and loud, it will be hard. We can't do it on your behalf. We can push and we can demand and we can discuss and we can work and we can do whatever, but this is your country. And I care very much, but I cannot care more than you care. It's normal. So I think what is important is also to join forces. And I am pretty sure that in 5 years' time, and trust me on this, the conversation will be a bit different. I've seen it, as I said, in another language. When you talk about 10 kilos or paper knowledge that is not translated into functional knowledge, my child was 20 kilos herself, and her bag was 10 kilos. The same. And this is what we are trying to do. But reforms are it's not something that you can do like this. And it's not something you can do without money. This is another problem. And it will take some hard years before good years come. When we talk about justice reform, we're talking only about passing in the parliament. The implementation will take a lot of pain as well. We were born in such times that we have to go through this. But personally, I believe that this country has many, many things that will work in its benefit or for its benefit, but you have to demand. You have to demand, because this is democracy. You vote, you decide, you are the boss. Everybody who is employed works for you. Who is employed for the government works for you, and you choose. So this is why I think it's absolutely important. And please come to us if you need assistance. We want to try and help really development of civil society on the ground. We want to try and help people get empowered and get their voice heard as loud as needed for things to change. And thank you.